We do love you, you're a success. I've never seen anybody that reaches that age. I mean, I'm not talking about somebody that's in extreme poverty or pain or something, but I've never seen anybody that, if they have a lot of people that love them, that is other than happy. And I've seen some very, very wealthy.
For me, the thing that I was really fascinated by, and always have been, is people, right? And how people work. When I was in college, I studied psychology and computer science. And one of the things that you learn when you study psychology is that there are all these parts of the brain which are geared just towards understanding people, right? Understanding language, how to communicate with each other, understanding facial expression.
Picture this. You invest a tiny amount today, barely noticeable in your bank account. Maybe it is $50, maybe $100, maybe a few hundred. You almost dismiss it because it feels insignificant. But fast forward 10, 20, 30 years, and that small investment has multiplied into something almost unbelievable. A fortune that could change your life entirely. This is not luck, and it is not a gimmick. This is the raw, mathematical magic of compounding, and it is the single most powerful financial principle most people either underestimate or outright ignore. Compounding is not just about money, it is about time. And time is the only variable you truly control. Every dollar you invest today is a seed. Left alone, it grows, producing more seeds, which in turn grow and produce even more. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. The real power lies not in massive, risky bets, but in the patient, consistent application of small, steady investments. Here's how it works. Imagine investing $100 a month, starting today, with an average annual return of 10%. It sounds modest, almost laughable, yet after 10 years you would have around $20,000. Not life-changing yet, but nothing to scoff at. After 20 years, over $60,000. 30 years.
Stocks. People bring the attitude to them too often that because they are liquid and quoted minute by minute, that it's an important...
Nearly $140,000, and that is just with $100 a month. The magic kicks in when time stretches and your returns start generating returns on their own. That is the essence of compounding, not just your money working for you, but your money working on itself, relentlessly, while you sleep, travel, live your life. Most people misunderstand compounding because they focus on the short term. They think, I need a windfall, I need instant gains. And that desire for speed is exactly what keeps them from building real wealth. Compounding does not work on your timeline, it works on nature's timeline. It is the slow burn, the patient grind, the long arc that most underestimate. Wealth built this way is not flashy, it does not come with Instagram posts or TikTok virality, but it is unstoppable. Let us make this real. Picture two friends, Sarah and James. Sarah starts investing $200 a month. At age 25, James starts investing $400 a month, but only at age 35. Assume both get a 10% annual return. By the time Sarah is 65, her total contributions would be $96,000. But thanks to compounding, she ends up with over $600,000. James, despite contributing more money per month, ends up with just over $400,000. This is the power of starting early. 10 years of extra compounding makes a difference, bigger than doubling your contributions. Time amplifies every dollar in a way that money alone cannot. But compounding is not limited to traditional investments. It applies to knowledge, habits, and networks. Every book you read, every skill you acquire, every relationship you nurture is a compounding asset. Learning a new skill might feel slow at first. Early efforts may seem fruitless, but over years, that expertise multiplies your income potential exponentially. Networking behaves the same way. A small connection today could become a pivotal opportunity tomorrow. The principle is universal. Small, consistent inputs, compounded over time, create disproportionate outcomes. Here's where most people stumble. They stop investing in themselves and their future because it is invisible. They want instant gratification, and the returns on compounding are invisible at first. Your bank account barely changes for the first few months or even years. It is tempting to give up, thinking, it is not working. That is precisely the moment you must persist. Those early months, even years, are the foundation of massive future growth. Missing that compounding window is what separates the wealthy from the merely comfortable. Now is talk about mindset. Compounding demands patience. It demands trust in a system where results lag effort.
Well, I'm trying to do good things, yeah. I mean, saving the world is not I mean...
But you're trying to do good things and you're a billionaire. I mean,
yeah.
that seems a little bit like either superhero or supervillain. You have to choose one.
It requires resisting the urge to cash out early, to chase trends, to react emotionally to market fluctuations. Every withdrawal or pause in investing resets the clock and diminishes the potential of compounding. But those who adopt a long-term mindset, who treat every small investment like planting a tree they'll sit under decades later, unlock a kind of financial serenity few ever experience. Diversification also plays a role. You do not have to find a single winning stock or asset. Compounding works across diversified investments, stocks, bonds, real estate, or even alternative assets. The key is consistency and patience. Even if some assets underperform, the portfolio as a whole benefits from the compounding effect. Over decades, small, steady gains accumulate into a mountain of wealth, far exceeding what anyone chasing short-term gains could achieve. Here's a fascinating twist. Compounding accelerates when reinvestment is involved. Every dividend, interest payment, or profit reinvested grows exponentially. It is not enough to just invest. The magic happens when returns themselves are put back to work. This is why the wealthy rarely just pocket gains. They reinvest relentlessly, allowing the snowball to roll faster, picking up momentum and size along the way. And do not ignore the psychological edge. Compounding rewards discipline. The act of committing to small, regular investments trains you in consistency, patience, and delayed gratification. These traits spill over into other areas of life, enhancing career performance, business decisions, and personal growth. You're not just building wealth, you're building the habits that create wealth in every facet of life. Many people also underestimate the multiplicative power of even minor increases in contribution. Increasing monthly investments by just 5% each year, while seemingly insignificant, compounds dramatically over decades. That is the subtle genius of compounding. Marginal improvements repeated consistently create results that appear almost magical over time. Here's the hard truth. Waiting for the perfect time is the enemy of compounding. Markets fluctuate, opportunities appear and disappear. Life throws unexpected expenses at you. The most important factor is not timing the market, it is time in the market. The earlier you start, the more you benefit from decades of compounding. Even small amounts, invested consistently, eclipse large sums invested late. Action today is worth far more than perfection tomorrow. The compounding blueprint is not about chasing riches quickly. It is about creating unstoppable momentum, leveraging time as the ultimate multiplier. Whether it is money, knowledge, or relationships, the principle remains the same. Consistent, patient inputs, reinvested and nurtured.
Look at something, it looks like it could be improved. You know, there's something wrong with it. So I go through like, wow, how could this restaurant be better? And so I've always had that kind of idea. By the way, before we really get into this, how about this amazing production?
Grow far beyond what seems possible at the start. Imagine 20, 30, 40 years from now, looking back at a seemingly insignificant decision you made today, putting aside a small amount each month, learning a skill, or building a habit. That small action, compounded over decades, could have given you financial independence, freedom of choice, and the ability to live life on your terms. That is the hidden power of compounding. It transforms modest beginnings into extraordinary outcomes, quietly, relentlessly, and almost invisibly. And here's a reality check that hits many aspiring investors hard. Compounding is unforgiving to inconsistency. Miss a month, delay reinvestment, or let emotions dictate your decisions, and the snowball slows, sometimes painfully. But those who master consistency, even imperfectly, reap rewards that multiply far beyond their initial expectations. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it is tiny, easy to ignore, easy to dismiss. But as it continues, gathering mass and momentum, it becomes unstoppable. That is exactly how small, consistent investments grow into massive wealth over time. And the best part? You do not need insider tips, high-risk bets, or flashy strategies. You just need discipline, patience, and time. The three ingredients that turn almost any small investment into something extraordinary. The compounding blueprint also reveals a profound life lesson. The smallest actions, when repeated consistently, have disproportionate outcomes. Saving, learning, networking, reinvesting, or improving yourself, even in tiny ways, multiplies into results that are far beyond what anyone would predict. It is a quiet, powerful law of reality that the wealthy have leveraged for generations. By now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, but where do I start? The answer is deceptively simple. Start small, start now, and never stop. Choose a consistent amount you can invest every month, automate it if possible, and allow the returns to grow. Reinvest everything. Learn, read, and build skills that compound alongside your money. Keep your focus on long-term growth, ignore short-term noise, and trust the process. Over decades, the results will astonish you. And here's the kicker that makes compounding almost unfair. Once momentum builds, growth accelerates faster than you expect. Early sacrifices, small monthly investments, and disciplined habits suddenly snowball into opportunities and wealth that seem out of reach for anyone starting later. The time you invest today becomes leverage tomorrow, and eventually, the process becomes self-sustaining. Start small, stay consistent, reinvest, trust the process, and in time, you won't just see wealth, you'll see transformation.